Hey everyone, Kathy Kennedy. It is just a few minutes before 2 o'clock. So this is Kathy and Denali. We're here for Travel Talk Tuesday at 2. Come on, you want to come up and say hey to everybody? Okay, so I get sugar. You want to say hey everybody over there? Look at here. Look. So this is Denali. If you guys do not know who Denali is, he has been my sweetheart. He is going on, this is his birthday month. So Denali is going to be 1 year old. We've got a big surprise birthday party planned for him. We're also waiting on Courtney from Vacations by Rail to join us. And she's on a different time zone. So I hope she realized we are on Eastern Standard Time. So I hope you guys are all being safe, and I hope getting those shots, wearing those masks, all that good stuff out there. So we're going to talk a little bit about Alaska. Hey, Miss Sarah's on. You guys know the routine. If you guys are in the house, do me a favor and let me know that you're in over here to the, well, actually it'll be below. So for most of you guys, right below this should be a little box where you usually put a comment, that type of thing. Do me a favor, go ahead and put in there like, hi, we got Deborah Weinigers. So we got the Weinigers in the house. We got Jones's, Pat's. I hope your mom's doing okay, Pat, and keeping her in my prayers. And anybody else joining in. So we're just a few minutes early here. Louise, Mike and Louise is in the house. So that's pretty cool. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I am ready for winter to be over with. Ron is watching. Beverly Go is out there. All right. We're getting some guys in. Again, as we go through this, and again, I'm hoping Courtney can pop on here in a few minutes. As we go through this, if you have a question or something that you want to just in that same little comment box, go ahead and type it in. Some people might not know, you just hit, I think, enter, usually in most cases, depending on what you're on. If you're on a computer, if you're on a phone, or that type of thing. So you just go ahead and hit enter. It's like 85 pounds maneuvering around here. So say hey to everybody. He says, he is cute, isn't he? He has some of the cutest little, I don't know, just stages. And then he has the little stages we want to kill him. Yes. Like eating pins and destroying anything that's in a vase. And he's very good at that stuff. So let's see who else we got on. We got Ron. We got that Beverly Go. Vedas up in Big Stone Gap. Holy cow, you got some snow up that way. They were saying you probably got, what, at least a half a foot or a foot. Gail's watching. Hey, Gail. Miss Judy is on. So we can be talking about what's been going on. And actually, it's a little after 2. So I'm going to tell Denali. So hopefully Courtney will be able to pop on here and join us here in just a few minutes. Okay, so Mommy's got to go to work now. Okay? Mommy's got to go to work. You get over there. Here. Look. Go get it. Go get it. There you go. So anyway, let's talk about what's going on. Now, I think several of you guys may have heard Friday was that there was an announcement from Canada. This kind of flipped us all backwards. Canada made an announcement that they are closing their borders to large ship vessels until February of 2022. Now, cruise lines weren't aware of this. Of course, we weren't aware of it, but I think we all got the news at the same time, which is even a little bit more frightening. So make a long story short, the cruise lines, the CLIA, which is Cruise Line International Association, is working with Canada and is also working with trying to take away the Jones Act. There's something called the Jones Act out there, or the PVSA, Passenger Vehicle Service Act. Ooh, how's that? I'm impressed. And basically that was a regulation that was developed back in 1887, and it really is no longer in effect and really doesn't do anything. But what it does state is if a ship is to leave the United States before it can return to the borders of the U.S., it must touch foreign soil. So, and that being when you go to Alaska, you usually bunk into Victoria for 4 hours or so, and then you come on in, or you land in Vancouver when you do a north to south. The only thing I can say right now, and I think I sent emails out to about everybody that was involved in some type of Alaska sailing this next year. I mean, this is going to devastate Alaska. I mean, it's, last year was bad enough, but for 21, it's just going to be very, very hard on them. And then anybody going in 22, they're telling us 3 years of pent-up demand, the prices are going to be through the roof. So for those of you that are booked currently to Alaska with me, keep those fingers and toes crossed that we will still be able to do that. Again, I'm kind of hoping Courtney jumps on here, because I know you guys are all coming on really to see me this time. You're really kind of coming on to see where Courtney is, but I'm hoping I emailed her this morning. She said she would be here. So hopefully she'll pop on here in a few minutes. So let's see who else. So anyway, what I want to say out there is don't panic, because I'll tell you what, the cruise lines, CLIA, everybody right now is working to come up with a win-win situation with Canada, so that because it's hurting Canada as well. I mean, Canada is going to lose revenue from travel industry, and not to mention what it's going to do to Alaska. Okay, so who else we got out there? We got Judy, we got Lois Bridges, we got Queenie and Klein. Boy, you had some beautiful pictures up on the internet the other day. Charles, Mr. B, Charles Buford's out there. We got Connie, we got Frank Johnson, we got Eloise. Girl, I've sent you two texts and I haven't heard back from you, so I was a little worried about you. So thank God. Everybody say prayers for Eloise. She had a knee operation 2 days ago, I think. And hopefully is recovering well. So we keep going. Okay. Uh-oh. Don't you love live? There's a siren going on, and Denali is going to bark to it. All right. So I don't have Courtney. Okay. Come here, Denali. Come here. Hang on. Commercial here, guys. Okay. I'm going to go put Denali in the other room. You guys hang in there with me. There. Well, I hope those sirens are not anything really, really horrible, but we have a lot of sirens going on. So let's talk a little bit about vacation by rail. At least I can speak to it, even though Courtney's not on with me right now. And I'm going to tell you a little bit. This is a brand new vendor for us with Cruise Planners. For those of you who don't know, that Cruise Planners has vendors that we work with, like Globus, like Royal Caribbean. It could be a cruise line, it could be a tour company, it could be FunJet, it can be Air and Tour or Air and Resort. So it can be different ones. And what we do is we say they're preferred vendors because they've tested and traded to be valuable and also trustworthy and excellent service in what they offer. So that's how Vacations by Rail came into being this past year. And I happened to look at this itinerary, and this is where we're going to go, because we do have a group, and I'm going to do a little share screen here. So I'm going to pop over here. You guys know, let's see, did I get in there? Screen share. Hang on, bear with me. I'm throwing a little off because Courtney's not here, and I'm thinking she's going to be here. Okay, so let's see if I can make this a little bigger for you. Hey, I'm starting to see Courtney. All right, hang on, guys. I'm going to stop sharing. I see her in there. You ready, Courtney?
I'm ready.
Oh, girlfriend, thank you for saving me.
I'm like, where's the link?
Yes. Thank you for coming. I'm kind of like, we have pretty much a full house. I think you can kind of see over to, can you see the comments over to the right? All these, Connie, we've got Frank, we got Eloise, we got Louise is tuned in to Vacations by Rail webinar this morning. Hey, she did a webinar on you this morning, so that's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, we do every Tuesday.
Pardon me?
No, we do webinars every Tuesday. The agents do.
Okay, so she was just on. So, and Laura Jean keeps wanting to always messenger me. I have to figure out how to teach her how to do that. So great. I'm glad you're on. You've saved me. So we were just getting ready to, we talked about that Vacations by Rail is actually a preferred vendor. So tell everybody, what is Vacations by Rail?
Absolutely. So Vacations by Rail, we're obviously a rail company. We travel all across the world. Where there's rail, we can connect rail with any land package. So whether that be rail cruise, rail car, or just rail. Anywhere there's rail, Vacations by Rail connect a package with you. We do have a host of independent, escorted, and locally hosted tours. And what that means is our escorted product would mean that you guys are traveling with a tour guide from point A to point B. So there would be baggage handling, transfers included, hotel and sightseeing tours. That's going to be our escorted product. And for groups, mostly, I suggest that you guys do escorted because it's all inclusive. And that gives you way less time to stress about travel, and you can focus more on your actual trip and vacation. So moving along to our independent itineraries, that would mean that you're traveling on your own or with your traveling companions. And so with our independent itineraries, you still will have rail included, hotel accommodations, sightseeing tours, select transfers, and then again, you're going to be traveling on your own. And with our locally...
So Courtney, is that kind of like and I want everybody to get this, is that, yes, we do have a group, and yes, it is going to be escorted, and we're going to get a little bit more in detail on that in a minute. But also the other things that Vacation by Rail offers is that you can use your product, whether it's a group or not. So this is like individual. Now, would they like get a guide booklet, or how does that work if I'm going on my own?
Absolutely. Thank you, Kathy. And so with the independent itineraries, you guys are going to get a fully guided itinerary that's going to be sent to you with your pre-travel documents, so on and so forth. Everything will be booked for you. The only difference is that you're just going to be traveling on your own or with your traveling companions. You don't have to worry about building the hotels. You don't have to worry about booking the sightseeing tours, any of that. All of that is going to be booked through our company. I do want to make a note about independent itineraries. Where there's tours where you have sightseeing tours, the only thing that you guys would have to do is 24 hours beforehand, just confirm that you're going to be at the tour, because a lot of those tours you will get picked up and dropped off at your hotels.
Okay. So we have the group package, and then you have the FI, we call it FIT, but for you guys out there, what that means, it's for individual travel. So if, say, for example, Louise here, wants to go to Europe on a rail trip, she can book that on her own, right? Or she could book it through me, but she could do that on her own.
Absolutely.
With guidance of Vacations by Rail, right?
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you mentioned Europe, because we also have escorted, independent, and locally hosted. And so for many of the people who may not be aware of what locally hosted means, so typically internationally, we'll have someone who you can reach out to for questions, concerns, maybe adding things to your itineraries. If you have question about maybe you couldn't get a hold of somebody for your sightseeing tour, it's kind of like that you're going to have access to a tour manager, but they're not traveling with you everywhere. So we do have locally hosted programs as well.
And probably those local hosts speaks the language, especially if you're in Europe.
Absolutely. And they're typically from that destination. So that's what makes it better. Yeah.
Okay. So, so that really does open up a whole world of rail.
Absolutely.
I mean, trips everywhere. I mean, you've got Europe, so you use the local rail that's in Europe.
That is
what?
Yeah, okay. We can use the local rail and even their scenic rail. We use that as well. So it's not only focused on like the Eurostar, but we'll do scenic rail journeys as well. And then so we have locally hosted, independent, and escorted. And we travel not only to US and Canada, but we travel to Europe and beyond. We even have tours in Asia.
Okay, you mentioned Canada, and before you got on, I was telling them about the little bombshell.
Yeah.
that Canada just happened to drop on Friday afternoon about large ships. And then, and of course, I've mentioned to them that CLIA and many of the cruise lines are going in to work and negotiate with Canada. So everything right now is kind of at a standstill. It's just at a standstill. How has that affected the rail for Canada? I mean, has it affected? I mean, I would think it wouldn't, because it's not a ship.
So right now, our product team is working diligently to figure out what's going on in Canada because it was dropped on Friday. From my understanding, it hasn't affected our land packages. We do have itineraries that's rail cruise, and we are waiting to hear back from the cruise companies to see how they're going to handle the situation, because I have been told that the cruise lines are trying to negotiate with Canada, see if they can just open up the ports for that. So when we become aware of more information on what's going on with Canada, I would definitely let Kathy know what's going on, and then she can let you guys know. But right now, we're working with the Canadian borders. We're trying to get as much information as possible because, as you are aware, that we do have a lot of Canadian packages, and it has been affected.
Yeah. One thing too, I want to, before we kind of mention or get into the group that we have going, which ours is good because we're all Alaska, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, we're all Alaska. It's just for the ones of mine that's got rail out there. We're just trying to figure out if we're going to end in Anchorage or, be able to get onto the ship of that thing. But that itinerary that you guys had have you done that trip with that whole rail with Alaska with vacation?
I haven't did the trip, but I'm actually from Alaska, so I have. Woo! Yeah, I'm actually from Alaska. I was born in Chicago, but grew up in Alaska, so I have did the itinerary kind of on my own. So I'm very familiar with the itinerary. I just haven't did it a part of a Vacations by Rail package. I have my mom there, so I go to Alaska all the time.
Yeah, well, I've been there 11 times.
Yeah.
And, it's either, and it's been a combination of land and cruise. But when I saw this package, I went, well, wait a minute. I've not done that part of the rail, and I've not gone out to and we'll get into that. I was kind of jumping around. Is there I'm just excited about that Alaska rail package, and I can't believe it after 11 times. Well, you got to, since you were born or raised there, not born there, but raised there, the excitement level with Alaska. Yeah. So once you get me wound up on it, I'm done. So tell me, as far as the escorted package, because we do have, and I'm looking for the ones, Gary's on. Hey, Gary. The ones that are over here, I'm seeing a lot of those guys are some of the ones that are booked with us. When you said we will have when we land in the airport, say in Fairbanks, we'll have someone there to get us to the hotel. We'll have a transfer, so it starts right there. Is that when the trip starts?
Yeah. So when you guys, let me just double check. Can you guys still see me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure
And we can do some sharing of screen if you need to, but.
Perfect. Give me 1 second. I'm just pulling up your group's contract. 1 moment here. Okay. Yeah, so for you guys' itinerary, it's an all-inclusive package. So you guys are doing one of our escorted products. So like how I mentioned, all transfers will be included. Meals are included, hotel accommodation, sightseeing tour, and of course, rail. So the tour begins when you guys arrive in Fairbanks and end with us. So that's exactly when the tour is going to begin. And you guys will have an airport transfer.
Now, if I'm correct, and I'm gonna do a screen share real quick. So Courtney, so I might need you to, but I'm gonna do a share.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to do a share here. How's that sound? Here. All right. Can you guys see this? So this is the group that we have, and there's a brief tour. But when Courtney was talking about all that was included. I mean, here it is. Now, it's 10 meals are included. Now, this is a 9-day. So there's 10 meals included.
Correct.
Hotels, which, do you know the hotel? Oh, well, Denali Bluff Hotel. Are we really staying there?
Yeah. So for your itinerary, give me 1 moment.
Can you see my screen too, Courtney?
Yeah, I can see your screen. It's just a little small, but I can see it.
That's an amazing, beautiful hotel. I mean, I stayed in the one right above it, but I would go drive past it every day. And it's like, I would really like to stay there.
Yeah. So for everyone who wants to know about the hotel accommodations included, you guys will be staying at the Bear Lodge at Wedgewood Resort for Fairbanks. You are staying at the Denali Bluffs Hotel in Denali National Park. And then you're going to be doing the Talkeetna Lodge in Talkeetna. And then
my favorite.
Lodge. And then last but not least, you guys will do the Lakefront Anchorage Millennium Hotel in Anchorage.
Been there too. And we also have now we've got the Riverboat Discovery Tour, which, by the way, last time I was up in Fairbanks, I missed that. So I'm kind of excited to get to do it.
Oh, Kathy, so you kind of did this itinerary before.
Well, only parts of it. See, well, I've been to Fairbanks a couple of times, but again, there's pieces and parks that I have not done. Now, when you talk about the Denali backcountry, is that where they're taking you more than 30 miles into the park? So we actually go a little bit further into the park?
Yeah, you guys are going to be going further into the park. The Denali Backcountry Tour altogether, I believe it's 10 hours. So it's from, I believe the tour, it's an early morning. You begin at like 7 a.m. and the tour would conclude about 5 p.m. 5 p.m. I know you have a meal included, but you guys are going into Denali. It's a narrated itinerary. Some of it's going to be motor coach. You'll get out. The narrator will go over things, but it's a really in-depth tour if you guys are familiar with Denali.
Well, I always did that little 30-minute one, and I always said next time I go, I'm going to do the deeper backcountry one, because they always come back with the pictures of the moose and the bear and everything, and it's like, well, we didn't see any of that, so that's exciting. The scenic tram in Alyeska, yep, been there. Now the Kenai Fjords National Park, I've never been there. I cannot wait. Is that amazing?
See, I have never been to Kenai Forest National Park, but everyone who did the itinerary and went said it's absolutely phenomenal, breathtaking.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, I've Googled it, as you may, and of course the Prince William Sound, now Surprise Glacier. I have done Surprise Glacier. Actually, my husband left a vest of mine up there on the glacier. Because you're hiking, you got tired, and it's like we get back, it's like, where's my vest? Oh, okay.
That's because you're too busy taking in the scenery, as you should.
Maybe I'll find it this time. Who knows? So transportation, and of course, we'll have a tour guide, which, I played this one time, and I appreciate tour guides. But here's, for anybody that is watching that might be interested, I have this that I can send you. And Vacations by Rail did a great job that gives you a day by day. As you see, day 3, day 4, day 5. I'm not going to read this, obviously, on here. But it will give you a day by day itinerary. And I think just now I got to get back to, there we are. I just think that's it's just an amazing. Now on the July 14th, we only have 2 seats left, right?
Correct.
But we do have more seats left on the July 28th.
That is correct. So you have the 2 departure dates. And I also wanted to add, I don't want to scare anyone. When you guys are doing escorted tours, you do have leisure time. So it's not just you're traveling with the tour manager and group and you have no free time to take in the scenery and to actually do things on your own. There is plenty of leisure time throughout this itinerary. So please do not fear that you're not going to have time to do your own thing. You absolutely will. The tour manager is just there to make sure that you guys are traveling from point A to point B, and that you guys are able, questions and concerns, and that you guys become familiar with the destination. I don't want you guys to think that you won't have that leisure time, because you will.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, because, just once you get to a hotel and you're looking at all this as you get there, just to go out and do some hiking, and just to go out and a lot of these places, well, especially the Bluffs, is going to overlook that beautiful river. And then of course the town Denali's down there. Talkeetna, you guys up west, so you guys know, Talkeetna Lodge is one of my favorites, and you can just hop the little shuttle that takes you into town, which is a little under 2 miles.
Yeah.
And really experience. The Talkeetna is just my favorite little place to be. So it's just exciting. Absolutely. So we're almost out. Is there? And thank you so much, Courtney, for jumping on here. I mean, I really do appreciate it. And I'm giving you guys some time to put down some questions. If you've got any questions or anything over here that you want, I'll flip back through and make sure that we've got it. Is there anything about Vacations by Rail that you kind of want to share with everybody else? I want everybody to understand that, that you are more than just Alaska. I
Yeah.
mean, you can do the US, you can do, the one I was looking at, and you guys tell me this. Do you remember the one I sent you that was on fall foliage?
Is
And
it, was it Autumn Tour in New England?
it was a guided tour, and I can't remember, but it hadn't opened yet because I was kind of looking at it for 22 because we're kind of booked up for 21. So this was, do you know the one that I was talking about, or any of it? Because you do a lot of fall foliage
Yeah,
up and
do.
around. Yeah. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we do itineraries. Not only we do all type of different itineraries. And speaking on fall foliage, I think it was the Autumn Tour in New England, but you go up to the New England states. I believe those departures begin at the end of September for all of our fall foliage tours. I want to say about that 2 weeks, last 2 weeks of September, and then it go up until October 7th, 8th, right before like that frost and that first snowfall hits, because obviously you're going to go to the New England states to see the colors. Right. And we also, so we have the Autumn Tour in New England that would just do the U.S. New England states. We have itineraries that include fall colors, scenic trains in Martha's Vineyard. We have fall foliage tours that include, you go up to Montreal and Quebec to see the Canadian side of colors. Not sure what's going to be happening with that for 2021, but definitely 2022, look into those itineraries. And some more things that I just want to give you guys about Vacations by Rail. We also focus on events. So the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, the Calgary Stampede in Calgary, the Edinburgh, the Highlands and Islands, the Tattoo event. We do we do itineraries all across the world. Like I said, where there's rail, Vacations by Rail will be. So if you guys have any questions or concerns about even Kathy's, the 2 departures that we have for Alaska, the Great Land, and again, that's going to be July 14th and July 28th. Feel free to drop those questions in the comments.
Yeah. And when you mention, I'm so glad you said this, because my husband and I, we don't know, I guess a date night on Friday, we got out of the house for a change. And we were talking about Ireland, Scotland, and he didn't get to go, but I got to go. Judy's on here. She was up there with me, and we just loved the tattoo. The Edinburgh tattoo just blew me away. So you actually have a rail that does, do you know if that rail does Scotland and Ireland? So,
yeah, so we have itineraries that just does Ireland, and we have itineraries that does Ireland and Scotland. Scotland, I believe. I believe the tattoo event is in August.
It's August. It only does August. Yeah,
it's in August. So yeah, but we do have itineraries that include both. And even if, let's just say you just did the Ireland portion, you can even add extensions to any pre or post extensions to any of our itineraries. So if you want to extend the trip and go somewhere else, we can do that. Even if you just want to add additional rail, we can do that.
Yeah, I definitely won't look into that because it's amazing. And then I want to share that with him. So if anybody's interested in Ireland, Scotland, maybe 22 out there, or if you're interested in the fall foliage, because then that's when, if I got a strong interest level, you guys know how this works. If I got a strong interest level, I can go and get that group together and get this going.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to push back up here to the top, and because we're running a little bit, we're right on time actually, and seeing if I missed anybody. And Vedas, did you ever dig out of the snow you were getting up there? I bet you got snow. Where are you at, Courtney? In Milwaukee?
In Chicago.
Chicago. You got snow.
Yeah, we got a lot of snow. Today it's kind of sunny, so the snow is melting. But over the past week, yeah, we've had, I think on Sunday it was like 1 degree outside.
No. I'm complaining about my Tennessee snow, and it goes away in the afternoon.
Oh, no.
Let's see. Okay, so Bob and Connie. Okay. Frank's in there. Eloise, by the way, is watching. She just had a whole knee replacement. That's amazing.
Oh, I feel better.
Yeah, I did the Vacation by Rail. Gary, Belinda. Belinda says hi, Courtney.
Hi.
Belinda, you want me to send you the day-by-day itinerary? I can do that. Let me make. Linda wants the Alaska itinerary. I can send that over. We got Darla, Patricia Cross. Hey, girl, she's taken our whole whole family to beaches. I wish I was going. So we worked on her air this morning. Louise is there. She said, thanks, Courtney. She's even more excited. By the way, she's booked. Louise is booked on this one.
Yeah, I do remember her actually.
Yeah. Connie, what about insurance on the Alaska? We can quote Allianz. Yeah, we would quote Allianz Insurance once we get the air situation, which I think everybody in our 2 groups currently have air added. Now, the air that we've added is currently with the cruise line for most people. The ones that are just doing the rail, we already have their air, so we're good. We have to send that up to you guys so you know when to pick us up, right? Courtney, I have to send all that into you?
Yeah, you have to send all of that information to me.
Okay, yeah. We can do that. And Darla, any tours to Niagara Falls, Darla says.
Absolutely. Yep. We have a few independent itinerary. Yeah, our Niagara Falls tours, all of those are going to be independent, but we do have, you can go up to Niagara Falls either on the US side or the Canadian. We have both itineraries.
Yeah. So Darla, let me know what you're interested in. We can put that together. And then Belinda is doing the ooh and the ah over the fall foliage tour. So if you guys are into the fall foliage, and then Belinda comes back and says Niagara is also a bucket list. So, okay, Courtney, here's the big question. Is there a fall foliage Niagara tour that we might could put it all together?
Both? No, not that does both. But you can kind of add on, like as I was mentioning, you guys can add those pre and post extensions to tours. So that may be something that you add on. And just so you guys know, anyone who wants brochures, because I see that a lot of you guys are interested in a few of our itineraries. If you want to let either, I guess, Kathy know and she can let me know, we can mail out brochures as well. And that kind of goes over our most popular itineraries, those pre and post extensions that you guys can add on. All that information, destinations, key facts. So, yep.
And keep in mind, when you're doing that, we've got you only have some tours that are escorted, and then you have tours that are for independent travel. And what was the other type of tour?
Locally hosted.
Oh, locally hosted. Those are the ones, it's independent travel, but you also have a local host. That's kind of added to it. Okay, good, good. Yep. And Louise says, is there a possibility to port in Seattle if Vancouver is out? They are looking at all possibilities. If we can get past the PVSA, Jones Act, whatever you want to call it, if we can get past that, then it really would just be once we leave out of Ketchikan, hightail it to Seattle and just skip Canada altogether would be my suggestion. But you know, that we're going to have to let the big authorities up there, they're working through it. I know I probably read 6 articles this morning on it. So there's all kinds of work. They are not giving up on Alaska because, and Courtney, you of all persons who probably live there know this will be devastating to Alaskans if we don't come up there. I mean, they need us. So I don't know. All right, so get Alaska in your prayers. Yeah. Actually, I've got Canada in there too because I think a lot of that has to do with they need vaccines and stuff. So, you know, we all just gotta keep thinking positive here.
And honestly, the whole closing of the borders. I just hope and pray that they find a resolution to this because man, like Canada's kind of been since the start of COVID, it's kind of been tricky about how they're going about things and like entering and exiting. It's just a lot. So the cruise companies are definitely working hard to get a solution for you guys. Yeah,
and I'm sure they'll work through a win-win one way or the other. So what about what's so great about the tattoo event? Love that one. Well, I thought, all right, I'm going to be sitting, and Judy's on here, so Judy can probably pipe in. I was thinking, okay, I'm going to be sitting my butt on a cold bleacher thing for how many hours, and oh my gosh, this is going to be cold. Everything I could possibly think. That thing started, and it's off the Edinburgh Castle, so they actually project everything, and it's every country in the world up it. I have never in my life seen a more magnificent demonstration of of military shows, expeditions. I don't know, Judy, pipe in there. It was mind blowing to me. And I'm hard to please. I mean, it was mind blowing. So the tattoo only happens in August.
Yeah.
It is a major event. So,
and I also want to add, because it only happens in August, our itineraries for the tattoo event, I think we opened them up 2 years prior, because since there's only certain departure dates in August, obviously those dates will sell out quicker. Just like the Passion Play, don't even get me started on that. Like, people book that, no kidding, 3 to 4 years in advance.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Veda still got, and there's more comments. Let's see, Snow on the Mountain, brochures. Belinda Castile wants brochures. So should I just order brochures? How should I do this, Courtney? Or can you drop ship me, say some brochures, and then I can get them mailed out?
Yeah, so like you can request how many, however many you want, and then I'll make sure it's mailed out to you. And then
because they're fairly thin. They're not like, I can just throw them in a thing. So, all right, I'll
show you guys what the brochure looks like.
Yeah, Courtney. I'll get some brochures drop ship. I mean, who knows? We might have a travel club. I still have it on the books for July. So
like we have, like, this is kind of going to be the thicker one. It's about 100 or so pages.
Yeah.
And then we have like worldwide rail adventures. And then we have cruise adventures in Europe.
Oh my gosh.
The combination of brochures.
Right.
Just let me know which ones you want, or I can send you a list and we can get them mailed out.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We usually, of course, we have the travel club. I think you're still on the agenda for July for the travel club. So we still got our fingers crossed. So if we don't get them to you by then, Courtney will have them for the travel club. And I know you guys will all be there. Sarah says yes on Scotland. Okay. Scotland. Fall foliage. Got it. And Judy is adding Tattoo, one of the best shows that she's ever seen. So, and I think both of them, and she was sick as a dog. Judy's going, oh no, I can't believe she said that. Judy never gets sick, and she got sick on that trip. That was a wonderful trip, but that was a crazy trip. And but she enjoyed the tattoo, so it was something that was pretty good. All right, guys. Anything else, Miss Courtney, you got for the gang out there? And then we'll keep this playing over on Facebook. So here's what I need you guys to do. Seriously. You guys need to like it. So down underneath there is a like and there's a share. So I'm going to go ahead and share it to a couple of my pages. The more you guys can share this information out there, the more views we get. Last week we had it was well over 400. I said to you guys, we've been getting between 200 and 300. I really would love to hit 400. Well, you blew it away. So let's crank her up. Let's see if we can get over 500 views for Vacations by Rail. And anything else, Miss Courtney?
That is it for me. I just hope you guys are really interested in Alaska, the Greyland itinerary. Again, Kathy has 2 departures, July 14th and July 28th. We have more availability on the July 28th departure. It's approaching soon. So if you guys are interested, reach out to Kathy and she'll make sure it gets to me.
Absolutely. Or go to my website. You guys know the saying, I need you to be safe, be sane, be satisfied.